How can we truly transform our lives? What if the key doesn't lie in accumulating possessions or achieving status but in cultivating compassion and wisdom, the twin flames that illuminate the path to peace and fulfillment? The Dalai Lama, revered worldwide for his profound insights and gentle spirit, invites us to embark on this journey. These teachings are not just philosophical musings, they are a call to action, a call to live with greater empathy, clarity, and purpose. Imagine a world where every action is guided by a deep understanding and a loving heart. Isn't that the kind of life worth striving for? Let's dive deeply into these transformative principles and discover how they can shape our lives and the world around us. Seeking peace and fulfillment? Hit that subscribe channel button and let us guide you with the Dalai Lama's teachings. Compassion and wisdom, the twin pillars of transformation. The Dalai Lama often emphasizes that compassion and wisdom are inseparable. They are the two wings that enable us to soar towards enlightenment. Together, they form a framework for understanding ourselves, relating to others, and navigating the complexities of life. Imagine having both a profound sense of empathy and a crystal-clear perspective on reality. How different would our lives be? This balance of heart and mind is at the core of what the Dalai Lama teaches and embodies. Compassion, beyond feeling, towards action. What does it mean to truly care for others? Compassion, as the Dalai Lama teaches, is not a fleeting emotion or a sentimental gesture. It is a profound commitment to understanding and alleviating the suffering of all beings. Compassion calls us to move beyond our comfort zones, to feel with others, and to act selflessly. Isn't it remarkable to think that true compassion requires as much courage as it does love? The Dalai Lama challenges us to extend our compassion even to those who harm or oppose us. Can we imagine opening our hearts to someone who has hurt us? It's not easy, yet, in doing so, we free ourselves from hatred and resentment, creating space for healing and connection. By seeing others as fellow travelers on life's journey, each struggling in their own way, we begin to dissolve the barriers of race, religion, and status that divide us. Isn't this unity the essence of humanity we all long for? This kind of compassion is not abstract, it is practical and transformative. Imagine standing in front of someone who has wronged you, not with anger but with a genuine wish for their well-being. It doesn't mean we condone harmful actions, but rather that we refuse to let hatred cloud our hearts. How liberating is that? The Dalai Lama teaches that by cultivating compassion, we not only help others but also heal ourselves. Hatred and anger are like poison, they hurt the person who carries them the most. Compassion, on the other hand, is like a balm that soothes our wounds and brings us closer to others. Wisdom, the light of understanding. While compassion warms the heart, wisdom sharpens the mind. But what is wisdom? Is it merely knowledge or something deeper? The Dalai Lama explains that wisdom arises from seeing the world as it truly is, impermanent, interconnected, and free from illusions. Imagine peeling away the layers of misunderstanding and finally seeing life's intricate web of relationships. Wouldn't that be liberating? Central to the Dalai Lama's teachings on wisdom is the concept of emptiness, or sunyata. This isn't about negation but about realizing that nothing exists independently, everything is shaped by causes and conditions. Think about a tree, it doesn't exist in isolation. It needs sunlight, water, soil, and air. It is part of an intricate ecosystem. In the same way, our lives are intertwined with countless factors, our families, communities, environments, and even the thoughts and actions of others. Doesn't this make life feel both humbling and awe-inspiring? When we understand the interdependent nature of existence, we begin to see that our actions have far-reaching consequences. Wisdom helps us make choices that are not just beneficial for ourselves but for the greater good. It helps us let go of the illusions of separateness and ego, which are often the root causes of our suffering. By embracing this perspective, we find a sense of peace and purpose that goes beyond our individual desires. The dance of compassion and wisdom. The Dalai Lama beautifully describes compassion and wisdom as two wings of a bird. One cannot fly without both wings working in harmony. This synergy is essential for spiritual growth. It makes us ask, how often do we find ourselves being compassionate but misguided, or wise but coldly detached? Without the combination of these two, we are incomplete. Compassion without wisdom, the danger of sentimentality. Have you ever acted out of kindness only to find that your actions had unintended consequences? Compassion without wisdom can sometimes do more harm than good, creating dependency or addressing symptoms rather than root causes. The Dalai Lama urges us to cultivate skillful compassion, an empathy guided by understanding. How can we ensure our kindness truly empowers and uplifts others? For example, imagine a situation where we want to help someone who is struggling financially. Out of compassion, we might give them money, but without understanding the deeper issues they face, our help could be temporary or even counterproductive. Wisdom helps us see the bigger picture. Perhaps what the person needs is not just financial aid but also guidance on how to manage their resources or access to education and opportunities. True compassion, guided by wisdom, seeks to empower others, helping them to stand on their own feet rather than creating dependency. Isn't that what real love looks like? Wisdom without compassion, the risk of detachment. On the other hand, wisdom without compassion can lead to cold detachment. Imagine understanding the impermanence of life but feeling no connection to the struggles of others. What a hollow existence that would be. Wisdom without compassion can make us indifferent, even cynical. We might see the suffering of others as inevitable and feel no urge to help. The Dalai Lama teaches that wisdom must be infused with warmth and love to be truly transformative. Isn't it the balance of these qualities that makes us fully human? Wisdom gives us the insight to see things as they are, but it is compassion that moves us to act. Together, they create a powerful force for positive change. Imagine a doctor who has all the knowledge and skills to treat patients but lacks compassion. Would you feel comfortable in their care? Now imagine a doctor who combines their expertise with genuine empathy, someone who listens, who cares, who treats you as a whole person rather than just a set of symptoms. That's the difference compassion makes. It turns wisdom into something that not only understands but also heals. A living example, the Dalai Lama's embodiment of compassion and wisdom. The Dalai Lama doesn't just teach these principles, he lives them. Despite enduring exile and the loss of his homeland, he continues to radiate compassion and advocate for peace. How does one maintain such unwavering kindness in the face of adversity? His life is a testament to the transformative power of these teachings. Compassion as a universal value. The Dalai Lama often speaks of compassion as a secular, universal value, not confined to any religion. Can you imagine a world where compassion is the common language we all speak? Through his message of warm-heartedness, he inspires us to treat others with kindness, creating ripples of goodwill that can transform even the most divided societies. He frequently emphasizes that compassion is not just for monks or religious practitioners, it is for everyone. Whether you are a teacher, a businessperson, a parent, or a student, compassion is something you can cultivate and practice in your daily life. The Dalai Lama's vision is of a world where compassion becomes a core human value, transcending religious and cultural differences. Imagine if, in every interaction, we prioritized kindness and understanding. How much conflict could we prevent? How much joy could we create? Wisdom in action. The Dalai Lama emphasizes analytical meditation as a tool for cultivating wisdom. How often do we pause to deeply question our assumptions and beliefs? By reflecting on the interconnectedness of all things, we gain the clarity to make choices that benefit not just ourselves but the greater good. Isn't this the kind of wisdom our world desperately needs? The Dalai Lama often encourages us to question everything, even his own teachings. True wisdom, he says, comes not from blind belief but from careful examination and personal experience. Imagine applying this approach to our own lives. How often do we accept things as they are without questioning whether they are true or beneficial? Wisdom requires us to look deeply, to challenge our assumptions, and to be open to new perspectives. It's not always comfortable, but it is essential for growth. Practical applications in modern life. The Dalai Lama's teachings are not just abstract concepts, they have real applications in our everyday lives. In relationships, compassion helps us connect deeply, while wisdom helps us navigate challenges with perspective. Can you imagine how much better our relationships could be if we approached them with warmth and insight, instead of ego and fear? Compassion in relationships. Cultivating compassion in relationships means being genuinely attentive to others' needs and feelings. How often do we truly listen without judgment or interruption? The Dalai Lama teaches that approaching others with warmth creates a positive cycle. When we are kind, others are more likely to respond with kindness. It's a simple yet transformative concept, isn't it? In our closest relationships, whether with family, friends, or partners, compassion means being present and empathetic. It means putting aside our own concerns to truly be there for someone else. How often do we rush to offer advice or solve a problem, without first understanding what the other person is feeling? The Dalai Lama encourages us to cultivate deep listening, to be fully present with others without judgment. This kind of compassion can transform our relationships, creating a foundation of trust and understanding. Compassion also extends to those we find difficult to love. The Dalai Lama often speaks about the importance of cultivating compassion for our enemies or those who have wronged us. This doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior, but rather recognizing the shared humanity in everyone. Imagine how liberating it would be to let go of resentment and hatred, to replace those feelings with understanding and empathy. This kind of compassion not only helps others but brings peace to our own hearts. Wisdom in facing challenges. When challenges arise, wisdom allows us to see them in context. The Dalai Lama encourages us to recognize the impermanence of all things, that even our problems are temporary and shaped by many factors beyond our control. What if, instead of resisting change, we embraced it? This shift in perspective can help us face challenges with resilience and peace. Wisdom helps us understand that suffering is a natural part of life. The Dalai Lama often reminds us that no one is exempt from difficulties, whether rich or poor, powerful or powerless, we all experience pain and loss. By accepting this reality, we can approach our challenges with greater equanimity. How often do we feel overwhelmed by our problems, believing that we are alone in our struggles? Wisdom teaches us that we are not alone, and that our suffering is part of the human experience. This understanding can bring comfort and help us face our difficulties with courage. Wisdom also involves seeing challenges as opportunities for growth. The Dalai Lama encourages us to view obstacles not as setbacks but as chances to develop resilience and inner strength. Imagine how different our lives would be if we saw every challenge as a lesson, every difficulty as a chance to grow. This perspective can transform the way we approach life, turning even the most difficult moments into opportunities for learning and growth. Compassion and wisdom in conflict resolution. The Dalai Lama has been a mediator in countless conflicts, advocating for empathy and understanding. How often do conflicts arise simply because we fail to see the other person's perspective? By using both compassion and wisdom, we can resolve disputes, whether at home or on a global scale, with empathy and practical solutions that address root causes rather than just symptoms. In personal conflicts, compassion allows us to step into the other person's shoes and understand their feelings. How often do we become defensive, focused only on proving our point? The Dalai Lama teaches that true resolution comes from understanding, not from winning an argument. By approaching conflicts with empathy, we can move beyond blame and work toward solutions that benefit everyone involved. Wisdom, on the other hand, helps us see the bigger picture. It allows us to look beyond the immediate emotions of a conflict and understand the underlying issues. How often do we get caught up in the heat of the moment, saying things we later regret? Wisdom encourages us to take a step back, to consider the long-term consequences of our words and actions. By combining compassion with wisdom, we can navigate conflicts in a way that leads to healing rather than further division. Walking the path, cultivating compassion and wisdom. The Dalai Lama teaches that cultivating compassion and wisdom is a journey, a lifelong process. It's not always easy, but it's deeply rewarding. Imagine a world where more people embark on this journey. What a transformation we could create. Meditation, a journey inward. Meditation, the Dalai Lama teaches, is the key to cultivating both compassion and wisdom. Through practices like loving-kindness meditation, we learn to extend empathy to ourselves and others. Through insight meditation, we explore the nature of reality. Imagine the profound transformation that comes from this inner work. Doesn't it make the effort seem worthwhile? Loving-kindness meditation involves generating feelings of love and compassion, first towards oneself, then towards others, and eventually towards all beings. How often do we forget to be kind to ourselves? The Dalai Lama teaches that self-compassion is the foundation for extending compassion to others. By practicing loving-kindness meditation, we can cultivate a sense of warmth and empathy that extends beyond ourselves to everyone we encounter. Insight meditation, on the other hand, involves deep contemplation on the nature of reality. It helps us develop wisdom by allowing us to see things as they truly are, free from the illusions that often cloud our perception. How often do we get caught up in our own stories, our own fears and desires? Insight meditation helps us see beyond these illusions, to understand the impermanent and interconnected nature of all things. This understanding is the key to developing true wisdom. Living ethically. The Dalai Lama also emphasizes ethical conduct, acting in ways that benefit both ourselves and others. Without ethics, our compassion and wisdom can become hollow. Isn't it true that our actions speak louder than our words? By living ethically, we create the foundation upon which true compassion and wisdom can flourish. Ethical conduct involves being mindful of how our actions affect others. It means avoiding harm and striving to contribute positively to the world. How often do we act out of selfishness, without considering the impact on others? The Dalai Lama teaches that ethical behavior is essential for spiritual growth. By living in a way that is aligned with our values, we create the conditions for compassion and wisdom to thrive. Ethics also involve honesty and integrity. The Dalai Lama often speaks about the importance of being truthful, both with ourselves and with others. How often do we deceive ourselves, refusing to face uncomfortable truths? True wisdom requires honesty. It means being willing to look at ourselves honestly, to acknowledge our flaws and work towards self-improvement. By cultivating honesty and integrity, we create a strong foundation for the development of compassion and wisdom. The transformative power of compassion and wisdom. The Dalai Lama's teachings offer a transformative vision, one that begins with each of us. Imagine living with greater peace, resilience, and connection. By cultivating compassion, we open our hearts to others. By cultivating wisdom, we gain clarity and purpose. Together, these qualities not only transform our own lives but also help create a more just and compassionate world. Personal transformation. On a personal level, practicing compassion and wisdom brings inner peace and a deeper sense of purpose. How often do we find ourselves stuck in resentment or ego-driven actions? Compassion helps us let go, while wisdom provides the broader perspective we need to live meaningfully. Compassion transforms the way we relate to others. It helps us let go of grudges, to forgive, and to move forward with an open heart. Imagine the freedom that comes from releasing resentment, from choosing to love rather than hate. The Dalai Lama teaches that compassion is not only about helping others, it is also about finding peace within ourselves. By cultivating compassion, we create a sense of inner harmony that allows us to live more fully and joyfully. Wisdom, on the other hand, transforms the way we see the world. It helps us understand the impermanent and interconnected nature of all things, allowing us to let go of attachments and live with greater equanimity. How often do we suffer because we cling to things that are beyond our control? Wisdom teaches us to let go, to accept life as it is, and to find contentment in the present moment. This perspective brings a deep sense of peace and fulfillment. A compassion revolution. On a societal level, the Dalai Lama speaks of a compassion revolution, a movement that could address issues like inequality, environmental destruction, and conflict. Imagine if more people acted out of empathy and understanding, how much suffering could we alleviate, and how much joy could we create? The Dalai Lama believes that compassion is the key to addressing social injustice. How often do we turn a blind eye to the suffering of others, believing that it is not our problem? True compassion involves recognizing our shared humanity and taking action to alleviate the suffering of others. By cultivating compassion, we can create a society that is more just and equitable, where everyone's needs are met, and no one is left behind. Wisdom also plays a crucial role in social transformation. It helps us understand the root causes of the problems we face, allowing us to develop effective solutions. How often do we address only the symptoms of a problem, without understanding the underlying issues? Wisdom encourages us to look deeper, to understand the interconnected nature of the challenges we face, and to develop solutions that address the root causes. By combining compassion with wisdom, we can create a society that is not only just but also sustainable. The Dalai Lama also emphasizes the importance of education in fostering compassion and wisdom. He believes that by teaching children to be compassionate and mindful, we can create a future generation that is better equipped to address the challenges of our time. Imagine a world where children are taught not only math and science but also empathy and understanding. What kind of leaders would they become? By incorporating compassion and wisdom into education, we can create a future that is brighter and more hopeful. Answering the call, walking the path of compassion and wisdom. The Dalai Lama's teachings on compassion and wisdom are a reminder that we all have the potential to create positive change. Compassion allows us to care deeply, while wisdom provides the insight needed to act effectively. In a world often filled with division, these qualities are like a beacon of hope. It's not an easy path, but it is a deeply fulfilling one, leading to greater inner peace and a profound connection to all beings. As the Dalai Lama teaches, compassion and wisdom are not just ideals, they are practical tools that can transform our lives and the world. Are we ready to take up this challenge and walk this path together? By cultivating compassion, we can create deeper connections with others, reduce suffering, and contribute to a more harmonious world. By cultivating wisdom, we can see beyond our own limited perspectives, understand the true nature of reality, and make decisions that lead to lasting well-being. Together, compassion and wisdom form a powerful force for transformation, one that begins within each of us but extends far beyond, touching the lives of others and shaping the world we live in. Imagine a world where compassion and wisdom guide our actions, a world where empathy, understanding, and insight shape our relationships, our communities, and our societies. This is the vision that the Dalai Lama offers us, a vision of a world transformed by the power of compassion and wisdom. It is a vision that inspires hope, a vision that calls us to action. Are we ready to answer this call? Are we ready to cultivate compassion and wisdom in our own lives, and to be a part of the change we wish to see in the world? The path of compassion and wisdom is not an easy one, but it is a path worth walking. It is a path that leads to greater peace, deeper fulfillment, and a more connected and harmonious world. As we walk this path, we are not alone. The Dalai Lama's teachings are there to guide us, to inspire us, and to remind us of the potential that lies within each of us to create positive change. Let us take up this challenge, let us walk this path together, and let us create a world where compassion and wisdom are at the heart of everything we do.